Right, welcome along to the Galen Myotherapy YouTube channel, Pause to Learn. And we've got a really, really interesting chat today, and I can't wait to talk about this. We're going to be talking about tripawds. And I'd like to introduce the lady who's going to be talking to us. So without further ado, your name, please.
Sue MacLennan.
And how long have you been a Galen Myotherapist?
I qualified in 2013 at the ripe old age of 60, just to prove that you're never too old to learn.
I love that. That's so cool. And what made you train as a Galen Myotherapist?
Well, I'd come across Galen anyway at Crufts. I'd met Julia. I was quite impressed with her kind of no-nonsense approach to things. I liked the credibility of Galen somehow. It was serious, and I looked at a few other providers, and I thought, yes, I'd love to do that one day. It sounds really great. And I was fortunate to be offered voluntary redundancy from my previous career. So I decided to invest some of my redundancy money and train as a Galen therapist.
Wow.
And here I am.
What a wonderful story. I love that. That is so brilliant.
No plans to retire anytime soon.
That's even better. We love hearing that because you are based whereabouts in the world?
I'm based in Northumberland, actually in Morpeth, but I cover quite a wide area of Northumberland.
Brilliant. Now, you've got quite a specialist subject in some ways.
It came about by accident, really. One of my first paying clients was a tripawd, a little terrier called Maggie, who was sadly no longer with us, but she did teach me a lot about what kind of things tripawds have to deal with. And then, as events often turn out, one of my dogs became a tripawd. So I already had a good idea of what kind of pitfalls we were, and I remember distinctly Julia saying about how the fascia can really adhere, and that can cause a lot of post-op pain and things like this, and possibly this phantom limb pain that people talk about. So I was very conscious of that, and the way that they ambulate, because obviously they can no longer do a 4-time gait normal walk, so they're kind of on a diagonal all the time. So I was conscious of all the kind of areas where these kind of tensions and over and under uses might occur. And so from the day Monty came home from the hospital, I started very gentle, just effleurage and just gently working around his very large scar where his front limb was removed. And I have to say, he lived for 5 extra years. He was 12 when he was diagnosed and 17 when he died. And he had a buggy and he was going out and about and all the rest of it. He had a great life. And a lot
That's
of it was,
incredible. Monty wasn't a small dog, was he?
no, he was a Labradoodle, more Labra than Poodle, really. He was a chunky dog, and the vets were a little bit kind of, oh, I don't know whether you're doing the right thing here. He's 12, it's a front limb. I know my dog, I knew he wasn't ready to go. And I
Wonderful.
honestly thought I'd get maybe a month, maybe 3 months if I was lucky. I didn't expect 5 years. And it was 5 good years. He had a happy life.
And
So
17 is an incredible age.
yeah, I mean, it was cancer that caused the amputation, but he got over the cancer. It was actually his heart that gave out in the end. So
Wow. What a
17 years
wonderful.
and 1 day.
Oh, that's,
We had a
and
birthday party.
bless him. I love that. But also, I mean, that kind of experience that you had, you do end up, isn't it? It's one of those things. Either if you've got your own dog, but you seem to end up treating a lot of tripods.
Yes, and then so I used to go around the local area at Northeast Dog Festivals. He was my demo dog, so I used to always talk about him, and he was a great demo dog. I mean, you could massage Monty all day long, and he would just be happy to lie there and do whatever I asked of him. So he was a huge inspiration to a lot of people, and a few people have been in touch with me because they met Monty and they knew his story. I used a lot of I didn't just use myotherapy. I used a lot of other alternatives. And I wrote about he was also I've got a holistic vet, and so I wrote a lot about his treatments and what we did for him and what worked, what didn't work, that kind of thing.
Brilliant.
And I think his story is actually on the Camp for Animals website as well.
Brilliant.
So he's
So anyone who wants to have a
he's
look.
still inspiring people.
So you treated another dog, which is the one we're also going to chat about today, but you
So
actually came across him in a different way because it wasn't somebody that came to you initially.
no, completely different. This is the wonderful Harry. He is officially my favorite tripod now. Now I no longer have Monty. But I was actually there. That was Harry, and that was his rescue picture that his guardians saw. He came from Cyprus. So we don't have a great deal about his history. The vets here think that he was probably quite badly abused, lost his front limb, and also he's got a healed dislocation of his left front limb as well. So he was in a pretty poor state. He couldn't walk more than about 50 yards when they first brought him home. But thanks to their absolute dedication and care, he's amazing. The local vets thought, well, he might live 7 to 8 if you're lucky. He's, I think, 13 going on 14 at least at the moment, and still living a happy life. He
That's
has
incredible.
regular.
It's quite special the way you actually started to treat Harry, though, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'd actually gone to treat another dog of theirs who was sadly no longer with us, but she was an old arthritic Labrador, and it was during kind of lockdown time, and I was treating outside in the garden, and Harry was just watching from the window, but barking, and I could see him, and I mean, who couldn't resist a face, and I said, "Oh, who's he?" Oh, that's Harry. That's our tripod. He's a rescue, and he's a bit reactive, so we better not let him out. And I said, well, you can let him out on my account. I'll just ignore him. He'll be fine. Just let him come. He's wondering what I'm doing to his sister. So they were, oh well, don't know whether he'll. And I said, just let him out and just let's see. I said, I won't sue you if he bites me. So he came out, and the first probably half hour, he was at a distance watching quite intently, and I could feel him watching me. I didn't make eye contact with him or anything. Remembered all my positive pact. I was busy anyway with his sister. And then towards the end of the session, he came a bit closer and he had a good sniff, and I just ignored him. I was so tempted to put my hands on him, but I managed to sit on them and ignore him. So the next session, I said, just let Harry out as well. He'll be fine. And he came over and he sat right next to me the whole time I was treating the other dog. So then I just gently put my hand behind my back and just put the back of my hand on the back of his neck. And he didn't seem to mind. So then I just sort of slowly moved down his neck a bit, and that's all I did, just worked a little bit on his neck. But at the same time talking to his guardians about, what issues he was going to be facing. And I would, show that I demonstrated a couple of kind of techniques on their other dogs so that they could then apply them to Harry and get him used to the feel of touch and everything else. And it just went from there. And so every time I was treating their other dog, I would spend 10, 15 minutes at the end of the session with Harry. And after probably 3 or 4 visits, he was first in the queue, lying down. I know what this lady's going to do. I want her on. And he actually presented this. I don't know if you can see on that picture on the beach there, he's got a stump where his right limb was. He's got like a little flipper thing, and he's very protective of that. But he actually presented that to me. Honestly, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. I don't think we were all quite amazed. And he's become a regular client, and they do a lot of work with him as well. I mean, that picture of me on the right there doing a treatment, they never thought that he would relax like that and allow somebody to do that. So, I mean, it's made their lives much easier. And, you know, you can see his fancy wheels there as well. He has the most amazing life, that dog. He's got a little Cocker Spaniel brother now, and they go off hill walking, they go up the coast, and they do sea swimming. They have them fantastic life. And
That is so incredible and so inspirational that people
absolutely, he is an
shouldn't be
absolute
thinking that, oh,
inspiration.
I've got a tripod, I need to wrap them up and I need to,
Uh-huh.
you've got to be aware and you've got to look at the environment and the impact
Oh,
of
yes,
all of
yeah.
that.
And you have to be careful about, you know, choose exercise wisely. And but I think I obviously told them Monty's story, and that inspired them too. And so, you know, Harry's now trying to catch up with Monty.
Oh, so it's just an incredible story. And it's not just actually the change you've made to his health and his life and, how you can help prolong that physical health, but also the fact that, the difference that you've made all the way through to him as well. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that he welcomes touch now.
Oh, I mean, it's just lovely. I mean, it's so heartwarming. It really is. And none of us thought that he would still be here now. He does hydrotherapy as well. It's not just down to me, but you know, his owners have taken it on. They're very diligent. They do their warm-ups. I've shown them what techniques to apply, and they're very careful. They'll let him walk so far. I mean, he gets lots of freedom. Um,
Brilliant.
and he just has the most amazing life. He's
I
even got his own
love.
swimming pool in the back garden. He's luckier than me.
Oh, but I love the way he watched and he
Yes.
really let it all just sink in. He just watched and he realized the way your approach was,
Yeah.
and implementing the positive pact so that it was all on his terms. And
Yeah.
it just shows how that trust can build.
It's absolutely immense. It's funny now because Ozzy, the little spaniel, he's all excited when I go in and he wants a bit of fuss as well. And Harry's like, no, get lost, she's mine.
I love that. Oh, Sue, I cannot thank you enough for sharing this wonderful tripod and story of Harry. It's been phenomenal. And hopefully, if you would come back and perhaps share some other stories, because I think it's so inspirational for
Oh,
people to hear the
absolutely.
lives that these dogs go on and have.
I mean, the dogs are the inspiration. They
Oh,
just show us how to live. They get on with life. They don't let anything hold them back.
oh,
Mine was back on the beach 2 weeks after losing his front limb, running on the beach as if nothing had happened. They're amazing,
they
and
are
it's not a
incredible.
death sentence. You know, people need to just kind of know that it doesn't have to be life limiting.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time,
You're
Sue.
very welcome.
Oh, it's been lovely to chat to you. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you.